dust settles on the windowsill of the diner, where the coffee tastes of iron and no pennies. I watch the highway swallow the afternoon sun, thinking of the miles we gathered in our pockets, like stones from a riverbed too deep to cross. You were wearing that coat with the frayed edges, the one that saw the winter through without a complaint. It is not about the maps we burn for warmth, or the names we gave to the nameless towns we passed. It is the way the stillness settles in your palm, the gravity of a morning that does not demand an answer. I am tethered to the silence found with you, a long white line stretching toward the mercury sky. There is no gold in the clouds, just a heavy blue and a steady breath that keeps the engine alive. I am walking through the tall grass with you, where the shadows are honest and the air is true. I am tethered to the silence found with you, a long white line stretching toward the mercury sky. There is no clouds, just a heavy blue and a steady breath that keeps the engine alive. I am walking through the tall grass with you, where the shadows are honest and the air is true. The prophets are all shouting from the television, trading their secrets for a handful of silver, while we are just counting fence posts, watching the crows hold a meeting on the wire. Life is a thin bridge and the wind is rising, but I found the anchor in the simple math of us. 1 + 1 making a fortress out of the rain. It is not about the maps we burn for warmth, or the names we gave to the nameless towns we passed. It is the way the stillness settles in your palm, the gravity of a morning that does not demand an answer. I am tethered through the silence found with you, a long white line stretching toward the mercury sky. There is no gold in the clouds, just a heavy blue and a steady breath that keeps the engine alive. I am walking through the tall grass with you, where the shadows are honest and the air is true. I am tethered to the silence found with you, a long white line stretching toward the mercury sky. There is no gold in the clouds, just a heavy blue and a steady breath that keeps the engine alive. I am walking through the tall grass with you, where the shadows are honest and the air is true. The dust on the windowsill is older than the truth. I sat there watching the shadows stretch across the kitchen floor, while the coffee turned to ice in a chipped ceramic cup. You were leaning by the screen door, looking at the rain, waiting for a sign that never came from the gray clouds. I saw the way your knuckles turned white against the wood. There is a map drawn in the creases of your palm, leading to a country where the clocks have all stopped ticking. We traded our heavy boots for a pair of paper wings, hoping to catch a breeze that didn't smell like charcoal. The radio was humming a tune about a ghost in the wires, and I realized the silence was just another way of screaming, I love you. The way a desert loves the thought of a hidden well, I love you. With a desperate focus of a man walking a tightrope, it is a heavy anchor and a sail made of pure light. It is the only thing I own that the moss cannot eat. I keep it in my pocket like a polished stone from the river. I love you. Between the ticking of the clock and the falling of the leaf, there is a space where the world forgets its own name. I try to write it down on the back of a grocery list, but the ink ran dry before I could reach the final letter. It is not a promise made in a hall of mirrors. It is just the way the blood moves when the air gets thin. The neighbors are putting their lights out one by one. The street lamp is flickering like a dying pulse. We are tucked away in the hollow of a restless night, counting the heartbeats that we borrowed from the dark. No one is coming to save us from the dawn, and frankly I do not think we need a rescue plan tonight. The wind is picking up the scent of pine and wet gravel. The floorboards are groaning under the weight of the secrets. The mood is hiding behind a curtain of heavy wool. I love you. The way a desert loves the thought of a hidden well. I love you. With a desperate focus of a fan walking a tightrope. He's a heavy anger and a sail made of pure light. It is the only thing I own that the moss cannot eat. I keep it in my pocket like a polished stone from a river. I love you. I love you. I love you. The way a desert loves the thought of a hidden well. I love you. With a desperate focus of a man walking a tightrope. He is a heavy anchor and a sail made of pure light. It is the only thing I own that the moss cannot eat. I keep it in my pocket like a polished stone from the river. I love you.
Wait by the iron gate where the sunset stains the gravel gray. I see the shadow of your heavy coat as you turn away. The engine hums a low vibration, shaking my very bones, while the quiet of the morning feels like a weight of heavy stones. You haven't said a single word, but your boots tell every lie, riding circles in the falls beneath the pale and hollow sky. The map is folded on the seat with the edges frayed and torn to a place where me twice as hard. I remember how the floorboards creak beneath your dancing guinea. Now they only moan the pressure of a desperate lonely fate. If you cross that silver bridge, you're crossing out my very soul, taking every piece of me that ever helped to make me whole. The horizon is a razor cutting through the purple clouds, and the silence of the neighborhood is wrapped in mere shrouds. If I could weave a net of gold to catch a fleeing heart, I would mend the fraying edges before they fell apart. Please don't walk into the distance where I cannot track your feet. Don't let the asphalt swallow every promise that we used to meet. Hold the motion of the wheel and sway right where the air is dead. Daughter, you depart and makes the clock forget to tick. Don't depart into the fog where my voice can't sound your name. Laid to nothing but the ashes of a dying winter flows. Don't walk into the distance where I cannot track your feet. Don't let the asphalt swallow every promise that we used to meet. Hold the motion of the wheels and stay right where the air is dead. The thought of you departing makes the clock forget to tick. Don't depart into the fog where my voice can't find your name, leaving nothing but the ashes of a dying winter flame.
Upon the table tell the story of the morning when the silence took the room. I watch you fold your coats into the leather like a sailor knowing winter's coming soon.
The clock is ticking slower than my heartbeat. The dust is settling on the face of us. The kitchen window frames a gray horizon. Our golden promises have turned to rust.
And now the ocean lies between our shadows. The grammar of our love has lost its way. I'm searching for the words that won't feel hollow, to bridge the distance of this cold display. We're strangers in a language we once mastered. The final period has hit the floor. The house is standing quiet in the wreckage of a heart that isn't beating anymore.
The books you left are leaning on the bookshelf. Their spines are breaking under heavy weight.
I almost reached across to turn the pages, but realized that the hour's far too late.
Oh,
I walk the pavement where we used to wander. The streetlights flicker in a tired ghost. The city hums a song I don't remember. The thing I miss is what I needed most. And now the ocean lies between our shadows. The grammar of our love has lost its way. I'm searching for the words that won't feel hollow, to bridge the distance of this cold display. We're strangers in a language we once mastered. The final period has hit the floor. The house is standing quiet in the wreckage of a heart that isn't beating anymore.
and now the ocean lies between our shadows. The grammar of our love has lost its way. I'm searching for the words that won't feel hollow, to bridge the distance of this cold display. We're strangers in a language we once mastered. The final period had hit the floor. The house is standing quiet in the wreckage of a heart that isn't beating anymore.
dust settles on the empty windowsill, a hollow space where the shadow used to spill. I reach my hand through the heavy morning gray to touch the pulse of a long forgotten day. But the air is cold and the cupboard shelf is bare, searching for a sign that was never really there. The map remains with the ink beginning to fade, tracing the debts that we thought we never paid. A broken clock keeps the time that we outran, leaving the ghost of a desperate fragile plan. Every word we spoke is a stone sunk in the well, ringing a crack and a solitary bell. There is not a trace of the fire in the grate. There is not a hand that can turn the iron gate. There is not a prayer that can mend the falling sky. Only the silence where the heavy questions lie. There is not a road leading back to where we stood, lost in the thick of a dark and tangled wood. There is not a breath in the rooms we used to own. There is not a seed that was ever truly sown. There is not a line in the window high above, only the absence of everything we love. There is not a path to the ruin and the rust. Nothing remains but the turning of a dust. The vanity of kings and the labor of the poor, all wash away on a shifting sandy shore. We built our towers on a foundation of sand, with nothing to hold in a tired and trembling hand. The mirror reflects only what we fail to see, a wide open canyon between you and me. I walk the halls where the floorboards start to groan, learning the weight of a life lived all alone. The garden is choked by the weeds and bitter thorns, watching the rags of a legacy get torn. The sun is a coin that won't buy a second chance, caught in the middle of a slow and losing dance. The ink is run and the ledger shows a hole, a heavy price for the pieces of soul. The wind carries off the remaining scrap of thrall, but no silver lining for the dark to hide inside. I look for a spark in the ashes of a pie, but water has drowned every flicker of desire. There is not a trace of a siren in the grate. There is not a hand that can turn the iron gate. There is not a prayer that can mend the fallen sky. Only the silence where the heavy questions lie. There is not a road lead them back to where we stood, lost in the thick of a dark and tangled wood. There is not a breath in the rooms we used to own. There is not a seed that was ever truly sown. There is not a light in the wind you'll hide above, only the absence of everything we love. There is not a path through the ruin and the worst. Nothing remains but the turning of the dust. The coffee in his porcelain cup has turned to stone. A pale reflection stares back from the hallway glass. His shadow skipped the lights before the morning light, leaving the dust to settle on the unread news. The key on the mahogany looks like a silver bone, a silent witness to the way the seasons pass. He didn't pack the heavy weight of being right. He simply dissolved into the gray and blue. He is gone like the ink from a rain-soaked bill, gone like the grit from a dry riverbed floor. No flags below it on the house on the hill. He just doesn't inhabit the skin anymore. The calendar pages are fluttering still, but his feet never hollow the path to the door. I found a copper coin where he used to stand, a small currency for a toll I cannot pay. The radio is hummed out by the biting wind that rattles the window till the frame feels loose. There are no fingerprints upon the shifting sand. The sky has nothing left it needs to say. A sudden death for a life so disciplined. Now the nights have untied in the heavy spruce. He is gone like he ain't from a rain-soaked bill, gone like the grit from a dry riverbed floor. No flags were lowered on the house on the hill. He just doesn't inhabit the skin anymore. The calendar pages are fluttering still, but his feet never hollow the path to the door. A labyrinth where the compass needle breaks. You search for the pulse in the thread of wool, or the ghost of a breath that the mirror takes. But the emptiness is solid and it's loud and true. A canyon carved by the absence that he makes. He is gone like the ink from a rain-soaked bill, gone like the grit from a dry riverbed floor. No flags were lowered on the house on the hill. Just doesn't inhabit the skin anymore. The calendar pages are fluttering still, but his feet never hold the path to the door. He is gone and the gravity and lost its pull. The morning rise, but it doesn't wake the floor. The drawer is empty and the silence is full. A name drifting out toward a distant shore. The glass on the table is that for the door. He just doesn't live in this town anymore.
The dust has settled on the porch. The mailbox holds a heavy draught. I watched you walk into the gate without a shadow of a doubt. The engine coughed to clouds of gray across the valley where we stood. I traded in my golden days for pieces of a broken wood. The map is folded on the seat with coffee stains and jagged lines. The ghosts are dancing in the heat between the needles of the pines. It's not the distance that I fear, nor is it where the river flows. It's just the silence in my ear that grows as fast as summer goes. The lock is turning in the door. The clock is ticking on the shelf. I've given all I had and more until I'm hollowed from myself. Goodbye to all the heavy dreams. Goodbye to every tangled chain. The moon is leaking at the seams and pouring silver in the rain. The road is pulling at my heels. The wind is calling out your name. I'm burning with the rusty wheels and nothing floor beside a photograph of grace. I don't remember anymore the light that used to fill your face. The harvest moon is hanging low above the fields of bitter grain. There's nowhere left for us to go except the shelter of the strain. The lock is turning in the door, the clock is ticking on the shelf. I've given all I had and more until I'm hollowed from myself. Goodbye to all the heavy dreams, goodbye to every tangled chain. The moon is leaking out the seams and pouring silver in the rain. The road is pulling at my heels, the wind is calling out your name. I'm cluttered with the rusty wheels and nothing's ever quite the same. Goodbye to every tangled chain. The moon is leaking at the seams and pouring silver in the rain. The road is pulling at my heels, the wind is calling out your name. I'm hunting with the rusty wheels and nothing's ever quite the same.
The dust has settled on the porch where we sat. The suitcase leans against a yellowing wall. I watch the shadows stretching thin and frapped, waiting for the heavy hammer to fall. You left your keys beside the empty glass, a silence deeper than the winter ground. Watching the seasons and the hours pass without a single comforting sound. Say goodbye to the maps we drew in the dirt, to the promise buried under the pine. Peel back the weight of the old lingering hurt and the ghost of the life that was mine. The wind is shaking the latch on the gate, the road is a ribbon of lonely grade. Better to leave it all to blind faith than to beg for a reason to stay. Clock on the mantle has finally ceased. The cold in the kitchen begins to bite. Every captive bird wants to be released into the hollow belly of the night.
The fields are turning to a shade of rust. The river is dragging its heavy feet. Everything we build is turning to dust in the middle of this one-way street.
Don't look behind at the closing door. The lock is rusted and the wood is torn. I won't be standing here anymore where the tattered remains are worn. Say goodbye to the maps we drew in the dirt, to the promise buried under the fire. Give back the weight of the old lingering hurt and the ghost of the life that was mine. The wind is shaking the latch on the gate, the road is a ribbon of lonely gray. Better to leave it all to blind faith than to beg for a reason to stay. Say goodbye to the maps we drew in the dirt, to the promise buried under the pine. Give back the weight of the old lingering hurt and the ghost of a life that was mine. The wind is shaking the latch on the gate, the road is a ribbon of lonely gray. Better to leave it all to blind faith than to beg for a reason to Say goodbye to the maps we drew in the dirt, to the promise buried under the pine. Give back the weight of the old lingering hurt and the ghost of the life that was mine. The wind is shaking the latch on the gate. The road is a ribbon of lonely gray. Better to leave it all to blind fate than to beg for reason to stay. The dust has settled on the porch where we sat. The suitcase leans against a yellowing wall. I watch the shadows stretching thin and fragged, waiting for the heavy hammer to fall. You left your keys beside the empty glass, a silence deeper than the winter ground. Watching the seasons and the hours pass without a single comforting sound. Say goodbye to the maps we drew in the dirt, to the promise buried under the pine. Give back the weight of the old lingering hurt and the ghost of the life that was mine. The wind is shaking the latch on the gate. The road is a ribbon of lonely gray. Better to leave it all to blind faith than to beg for a reason to stay. The cold in the kitchen begins to bite. Every captive bird wants to be released into the hollow belly of the night.
The fields are turning to a shade of rust. The river is dragging its heavy feet. Everything we build is turning to dust in the middle of this one-way street.
Don't look behind at the closing door. The lock is rusted and the wood is torn. I won't be standing here anymore where the tattered remains are worn. Say goodbye to the maps we drew in the dirt, to the promise buried under the fire. Give back the weight of the old lingering hurt and the ghost of the life that was mine. The wind is shaking the latch on the gate. The road is a ribbon of lonely gray. Better to leave it all to blind fate than to beg for a reason to stay. Say goodbye to the maps we drew in the dirt, to the promise buried under the pine. Give back the weight of the old lingering hurt and the ghost of a life that was mine. The wind is shaking the latch on the gate. The road is a ribbon of lonely gray. Better to leave it all to blind fate than to beg
For a reason to stay.
Say goodbye to the maps we drew in the dirt, to the promise buried under the pine. Give back the weight of the old lingering hurt and the ghost of the life that was mine. The wind is shaking the latch on the gate. The road is a ribbon of lonely gray. Better to leave it all to blind fate than to beg for reason to stay. This is for you, the open road, the weight of everything you never show, The silence in my kitchen when the clock runs slow. The only piece of truth that I still know. This is for you in the pouring rain. A steady hand to hold the shifting pain. The mailbox overflows with dust and names of people playing all those tired games. You traded in your gold for iron wire and walked across the coals of every fire. I saw you leaning on the garden gate, deciding which part of the day to hate. The shadows grew across the wooden floor as you were heading for the heavy door. This is for you, the open road, the weight of everything you never showed. The silence in the kitchen when the clock runs slow. The only piece of truth that I still know. This is for you in the pouring rain. A steady hand to hold the shifting pain. The morning paper speaks of wars and pride, but doesn't mention how you feel inside. A tattered coat against the winter wind, where the stories end and the ghosts begin. I bring no silver and I bring no wine, just a lonesome heart that beats in time. I place my bets upon the morning sun and watch the horses run until they won. This is for you, the open road, the weight of everything you never showed. The silence in the kitchen when the clock runs slow. The only piece of truth that I still know. This is for you in the pouring rain. A steady hand to hold the shifting pain. This is for you, the open road, the weight of everything you never showed. The silence in the kitchen when the clock runs slow. The only piece of truth that I still know. This is for you in the pouring rain, a steady hand to hold the shifting pain.
White lilies bend their necks beneath the heavy frost. The clock on the mantle is giving up its ghost. I walk through the garden where the soil is turned fresh. A silence so thick it clings to the mesh of the sweater she knit when the autumn was gold. Now the windows are shuttered and the hearth is grown cold. I saw the physician stepping down from the porch. The moon was a hole where he used to hold the torch. The bed sheets are leather and the post is a stone. A kingdom of marrow and a temple of bone. The neighbors are gathering in the valley below, talking in shadows of things they don't know. She has laid down her burden by the tall river bank, where the willow is weeping and the vessel has sank. The morning is empty and the sunlight is blind, leaving the hollow and the sorrow behind. She has stepped through a mirror to the other side, where the truth and the spirit no longer can hide. The preacher is leaving through a book made of sand, counting the grains that slip through his hand. Is there a map for a soul on the wing, or a soul that a bird in the darkness can sing? The iron is rusted and the gate is unlatched. The flame and the cradle are finally matched. The dresser is open and the ribbons are torn, like the banners of armies that were never born. I looked in her locket and I found only space, the absence of light and the lack of a face. The stairs are complaining under my boots, while the winter is sleeping deep in the roots. The crows are the masters of the chimney tonight. They circle the chimney and they nearly collide. I'll stay in this kitchen till the kettle turns black, knowing there's nothing that can carry her back. The dust is a garment that the furniture wears, while I am the prisoner of these empty chairs. She has laid down her gun by the tall river bank, where the willow is weeping and the vessel has sank. The morning is empty and the sunlight is blind, leaving the hollow and the sorrow behind. She has slept through the mirror to the other side, where the truth and the spirit no longer can hide. She has laid down her burden by the tall river bank, where the willow is weeping and the vessel has sank. The morning is empty and the sunlight is blind, leaving the hollow and the sorrow behind. She has slept through the mirror to the other side, where the truth and the spirit no longer can hide.
Steam rises from a ceramic cup. The morning light begins to wake us up. The scent of roasted beans fills the air, a gentle sense of peace is everywhere.
Looking out at the busy street outside, from the small corner where we like to hide, the clink of spoons and soft melodic tones, making us feel like we are finally home.
No need for grand gestures or loud display, just the comfort of this brand new day. The warmth within the palm of your hand, the simplest joys we now understand. This is where the golden moments stay. In this happy cafe, we find our way. Bittersweet and smooth upon the tongue, a timeless song that has just begun, floating on the spirit of the brew. Everything is bright and feels so new.
The wooden table tells 1,000 tales of quiet triumphs and the stormy games, but here the wind is soft against the glass, watching all the hurried shadows pass. Sugar cubes dissolved in
messages all out display. Just the comfort of this brand new day. The warmth within the palm of your hand. The simplest choice we now understand.
This is where the golden moments stay. In this happy cafe, we find our way. Bittersweet and smooth upon the tongue. The timeless song that has just begun. Floating on the spirit of the brew.
Everything is bright and feels so new. Everything is bright and feels so new. This is where the golden moments stay. In this happy cafe, we find our way. Bittersweet and smooth upon the tongue. A timeless song that has just begun. Floating on the spirit of the brew. Everything is bright and feels so new. In the vast expanse where silence resides, the golden light across the horizon glides. I search for traces of your final flight beyond the veil of this earthly night. The winds of time carry a gentle sound, lifting my feet from the heavy ground. A journey painted in celestial hue, leading my weary soul back to you. Every breath I take turns into a prayer, floating through the thin and sacred air. The distance fades between the low and high, underneath this everlasting sky. My love remains in the heavenly heights, blooming forever in eternal lights. I send my heart to the garden above to find the peace of your undying love. The stars are witnesses to all we share. For every moment that we truly care. No longer bound by the gravity of pain, we will walk the emerald fields again. The rivers flow with a crystal clear tide, where no more secrets or sorrows can hide. I read the promise written in the blue.
The morning coffee tastes like heavy rain. I trace the outlines of your ghost in the hallway. Every photograph is a needle in the dark, stabbing at a memory that refuses to fade away. My calendar is frozen on a Tuesday in July. The clock hands are broken, limbs against the sky. I am digging a hole for the shadow you left, but my hands are too weak from this silent theft. I want to erase the frequency of your name, undo the wiring that keeps me in this frame. Let the tide wash over the ink on my skin. Where your story ends is where I should begin. I am folding the maps that lead back to your door. I don't want to know who you are anymore. I want to erase the frequency of your name, undo the wiring that keeps me in this frame. Let the time wash over the ink on my skin. Where your story ends is where I should begin. I am folding the maps that lead back to your door. I don't want to know who you are anymore. Streetlights flicker like a dying pulse. The city breathes a different air than mine. I am deleting the shorthand of our secret language, discarding the salt and the bitter wine. The static on the radio is a comfort now. I am learning the art of the final bow, building a wall made of bricks and of years, drowning out the resonance of all these fears. I want to erase the frequency of your name, undo the wiring that keeps me in this frame. Let the tide wash over the ink on my skin. Where your story ends is where I should begin. I am folding the mats that lead back to your door. I don't want to know who you are anymore. I want to erase the frequency of your name, undo the wiring that keeps me in this frame. Let the tide wash over the ink on my skin. The morning coffee settles in a cold ceramic cup. I reach across the kitchen table just to find the space is wide. The calendar is frozen on a date we never reached, and every ghost of laughter keeps on drifting out with the tide. The hallway mirror reflects a man I barely recognize today, scanning every empty corner for the ghost of your perfume. I watch the horizon swallow up the light of my world. Now the constellations are just jagged holes in the dark. Every map I drew has led me back to this hollow ground, where the silence is a way that I can no longer spark. You were the anchor holding down the madness of my soul. Now I am drifting through a sea where no one comes to find me. Maybe there is a logic in the way the stars must fade. Some hidden geometry in the wreckage that we made. I look for your name carved into the bark of the willow, but the rain washed the forest into a shade of weeping gray. I am not asking for the seasons to reverse their course, just for one pulse of clarity before the winter stays. The books on the shelf are leaning like they lost their will to stand. Your favorite pen is dried and forgotten near the windowsill. I tried to speak your name to the shadows in the garden, but my voice cracked open and left the evening perfectly still. There is a profound stillness in the wake of a sudden departure, a heavy kind of logic that I am forced to learn by heart. The dust settles down on the things that we should have said, tracing out the outlines of a life that went unled. The clock on the wall counts the seconds like falling stones, building up a monument of moments spent alone. I watched the horizon swallow up the light of my world. Now the constellation are just jagged holes in the dark. Every map I drew has led me back to this hollow ground, where the silence is a weight that I can no longer spark. You are the anchor holding down the madness of my soul. Now I am drifting through a sea where no one comes to find me.
The coffee stains the wood on the kitchen floor. A hollow sound when I shut the heavy door. Your sweater hangs like a ghost in the hall, tracing the shadows where they start to crawl. The calendar is stuck on a Tuesday night, while I'm losing the will to keep up the fight. But how does the world keep turning its gears when the silence is the only thing that I hear? The maps are all blank and the stars went dim. The cup on the counter is filled to the rim with the
still piling up by the gate, a collection of letters that arrived too late. I walk past the garden where nothing will grow. The secrets we buried are all that I know.
I'm learning the shape of a house built for one, waiting for warmth from a pale dying sun. But how does the world keep turning its gears when the silence is the only thing that I hear? The maps are all blank and the stars went dim. The cup on the counter is filled to the rim with the weight of the space you used to occupy, under the cold and the gray of a vacant sky.
The kitchen floor is cold tonight. The faucet drips a jagged line. I watched the shadow climb the wall until the salt began to shine. My car soaked in heavy gray. The television hums a ghost. I'm standing in the hollowed space where I used to feel the most. It isn't like the silver screen, no violence to hold the weight, just a shudder in the chest, landing hard and landing late. The coffee's bitter in the pot, the windows fog with stagnant air. I let the shudder take its hold while leaning on a wooden chair. It breaks the dam within the bone, it carves a path through dust and stone. A sudden flood without a sound, it pulls the ceiling to the ground. Let the river wash the sight of everything I kept inside. Let it burn a holy trail across the face I tried to hide. It's the shaking of the frame, it's the leaking of the years, taking back the silent name, dissolving all the frozen fears. I thought I'd locked the iron gate and swept the corners of the mind, but grief is like a restless root that always knows the way to wind. My knuckles white against the sink, the mirror shows a stranger's eyes, stripping off the polished mask underneath the local skies. It breaks the dam within the bone, it carves a path through dust and stone. A sudden flood without a sound that pulls the ceiling to the ground. Let the liver wash the side of everything I kept inside. Let it burn a holy trail across the face I tried to hide. It's the shaking of the frame, it's the leaking of the years, taking back the silent name, dissolving all the frozen fears. Let the river wash the sight of everything I kept inside. Let it burn a holy trail across the face I tried to hide. It's the shaking of the frame, it's the leaking of the years, taking back the silent name, dissolving all the frozen fears.
In the silent hallway of my mind, your name is the only map I find. I used to speak in shadows and gray, but now the sunlight has found its way across the ocean, across the land. I am tracing your fingers with mine. I am loving you with every breath I take, more than the promises I used to break. It is the rhythm inside of my bones, a language that feels like coming home. I am loving you in every word I say, turning the midnight into the day. No more searching for a hidden sign, no more waiting for the stars to align. The gravity pulls me closer to your soul. You are the piece that makes the broken whole. Everything I kept inside is pouring out, leaving no room for a single doubt. We are writing stories on a window glass, watching the heavy winter clouds pass. I found a universe within your stare, a quiet magic hanging in the air. I do not need a map or a guiding light, as long as you are standing in my sight. The words were heavy like stone in my chest, but now they are feathers finding their rest. I am letting go of the fear I knew, just to find the path that leads back to you. I am loving you with every breath I take, more than the promises I used to break. It is the rhythm inside of my bones, a language that feels like coming home. I am loving you in every word I say, turning the midnight into the day. I am loving you with every breath I take, more than the promises I used to break. It is the rhythm inside of my bones, a language that feels like coming home. I am loving you in every word I say, turning the midnight into the day. Your sunrise awakes my heavy eyes, but all I see is your gentle face. The morning mist begins to rise as I trace the lines of your embrace. Every clock hand turns for you, the minutes hum your favorite song. There is nothing left for me to do but follow where your shadows belong. My entire day is built on you, from the early light to the evening dew. Every breath I take tells some new truth. I am drowning in a sea morning gray is heavy on the window glass. The coffee's cold and hours start to pass. The static on the radio is humming low, reminding me of places where we used to go. You left your shadow leaning by the kitchen door. I don't belong in silence anymore. The city streets are drowning in a silver haze. I'm lost inside the rhythm of these lonely days. It was raining just like this that day, when everything we built began to fray. The sky turned black and washed the truth away. It was raining just like this that day. I tried to catch the lightning in my empty hands, to hold together all our broken plans. But water runs through fingers like a bitter flood, and turns the garden of our dreams to mud. The pavement echoes with a hollow sound of all the heavy secrets that we found. I watch the droplets racing down the dusty pane, and spell your name inside the driving rain. There's no more fire left to keep us warm. We're just two ships drifting in the storm. The calendar is frozen on a page of blue, while every cloud high above looks just like you. It was raining just like it's that day, when everything we built began to fray. The sky turned black and washed the truth away. It was raining just like this day. It was again just like it's that day, when everything we built began to fray. The sky turned black and washed the truth away. It was raining just like this that day. The clouds assemble in a bruised shade of violet. The first drop fractures the heavy stillness of the air. I watch the dust transform to clay beneath the gate, while every window pane begins to weigh your ghost. Your name is etched into the scent of dampened stone. A sudden shiver runs along the spine of the street. I find myself retracing paths we used to carve, before the season lost its heat and turned to gray. When the sky descends in broken lines of silver, the memory of you becomes the only hum I hear. Every hollow street is filling up with silence, but your laughter is the storm that won't subside. I am drowning in I used to find a sanctuary under your umbrella. Now the open air is just a place to lose my breath. The rhythm on the roof is beating out a warning that summer was a debt that I can't quite repay. The streetlights flicker like a pulse about to fail, and every drop is just another way to say your name. When the sky descends in broken lines of silver, the memory of you becomes the only hum I hear. Every hollow street is filling up with silence, but your laughter is the storm that won't subside. I am drowning in the clarity of losing you again.
Morning sunlight dancing on the white lace sheet. Every little movement feels so bittersweet. I watch the golden haze tracing lines upon your face, while time stands still in this quiet hollow space.
The kettle starts to hum, a soft and steady low, like a secret map of places only we could know.
This sugar-coated fever is a language of its own, a velvet kind of kingdom that we build alone.
Sweeter than the nectar from a wild summer vine.
I'm drunk on every shadow where your spirit meets mine. No need for heavy gravity or silver line grace. We're floating near the honey of a brand new day.
Spoons are clinking softly in the porcelain blue. Every tiny gesture leads me back to you.
The window frame is lowering all the sky will ever need.
While we scatter stars like they were simple garden seeds.
Nothing left to measure and nothing left to prove. Just the way the universe settles in your mood.
sugar-coated fever. Is a language of its own. A velvet kind of kingdom. Ooh, that we built alone. Sweeter than the nectar from a wild summer vine. I'm drunk on every shadow.
Your spirit meets mine.
No need for heavy gravity or silver line way. We're floating in the honey of a brand new day. This sugar-coated fever is a language of its own. A velvet kind of kingdom. Ooh, that we built alone. Sweeter than the nectar from a wild summer vine. I'm drunk on every shadow.
For your spirit
Meets kind. No need for heavy gravity.
or silver line ray.
The rain taps hard against the kitchen glass, while shadows stretch across the empty hall. I watch the morning light begin to pass and trace the jagged cracks along the wall. The kettle whistles through the quiet air, but I just sit and let the fire die. There is a heavy silence everywhere, underneath a pale and hollow sky. I found your ring behind the dresser wheel,
Right where the dust had gathered in the grave.
it has a cold and unforgiving feel.
Like every word we never got to say.
The clock is ticking slower than before.
Counting out the minutes left to keep.
I hear the wind against the cellar door,
While the rest of this abandoned city sleeps.
some streaks staining on a weary face, breaking like the tide against the sand, searching for a soft and steady place to let the heartbeat slip out of my hand. The bitter water flowing from the well, drowning out the sparks inside the bone. Whatever kind of story left to tell, I am learning how to weep here on my own. The winter fields are stripped of all their gold.
Earth branches shiver in a coat of white.
The stories that we promised would unfold,
Buried in the belly of the
I
night.
tried to find a reason in the
Almost
glass,
saw a stranger looking back.
waiting for the heavy clouds to pass,
And the frozen earth to finally start to crash. Streaks staining on a weary face, breaking like the tide against the sand, searching for a soft and steady place to let the heartbeat slip out of my head. The bitter water flowing from the well, drowning out the sparks inside the bone. Whatever kind of story left to tell,
I am learning how to weep here on my own. The morning tide is pulling back the sand, the way the dust has settled on my hand. I trace the lines that map out where we stood, stuck inside the wires of the wood. The engine stalls beneath the heavy grade. Another miles away from yesterday. I watch the birds collide against the pain, the seasonal arrival of the rain. The rusted gate is swinging in the wind, a narrative that never seems to end. I try to fold the maps and clear the shelf, but I am lost in visions of yourself. I can't forget the weight of heavy light across the floor. I can't forget it, the shifting shape of every closing door. It stays behind the movement of my eyes, a persistent truth beneath the shallow lies. I can't forget it. Copper turns to green against the stone. Silence has a fever of its own. I built a wall to keep a ghost outside, but there is nowhere left for me to hide. The clock is ticking backwards in the hall, writing every name upon the wall. The coffee turns to ice inside the cup. The sky is drinking all the water up. I see the shadows stretching on the lawn, longer than the moment you were gone. I keep the keys to rooms I never use, with nothing left to gain and less to lose. The train is screaming down the iron track. The gravity is pulling colors back. I find a scrap of paper in my coat, the jagged lines of every word you wrote, a fragment of a summer long ago that follows everywhere I try to go. I can't forget it, the weight of heavy light across the floor. I can't forget it, the shifting shape of every closing door. It stays behind the movement of my eyes, a persistent truth beneath the shallow lies. I can't forget it, the bitterness of salt upon the tongue. I can't forget it, the hollow songs that we have always sung. It stays behind the movement of my eyes, a persistent truth beneath the shallow lies. I can't forget.
Coffee is turned to ice in the shallow light. The dust is settling on the keys of an old piano. I am tracing the patterns of shadows along the floor, counting every second that refuses to move forward. The door remains closed and the air feels thin, like a ghost in a hallway searching for a skin. I am looking for the pieces of a glass heart shattered in a world that kept on spinning when it never only kind of debt that a bank ever forgets. I am drowning in a dry well of memories, fading like a photograph caught in heavy autumn seas. Maybe the mountains will crumble into the shore. Maybe I will forget what I am waiting for. The sky is a heavy blanket of charcoal and lead. Everything meaningful has already been said. The clock on the wall has a stuttering hand, like a traveler lost in a desert of shifting sand. Your favorite sweater's folded inside out, a visual scream in a cathedral of doubt. The garden is dying under a colorless sun. Victory means nothing when the race is already won. The ink on the paper is beginning to bleed, like a hungry mouth with nothing left to feed. The distance between us is a physical weight, a heavy iron anchor at a rusted metal gate. I am looking for the pieces of a glass heart shattered in a world that kept on spinning when it never mattered. You are the silence in the middle of my loud regrets, the only kind of debt that a bank ever forgets. I am drowning in a dry well of memories, fading like a photograph caught in heavy autumn seas. I am looking for the pieces of a glass white shattered in a world that kept on spinning when it never mattered. You are the silence in the middle of my loud regrets, the only kind of get. Stay right here beside my beating heart. The silence grows when we are far apart. I watch the shadow crawling on the wall, waiting for the moment that you call. The oxygen is thinning in this room. I sense the heavy scent of coming doom. Every second feels like sharp as glass, counting every heartbeat as they pass. Don't you walk away or I will cease to be. You are the only gravity for me. If you leave my side, I'll surely lose my breath. Life without your light is worse than death. Hold me till the world begins to fade. Without your love, I'm just a ghost you made. The keys are resting cold upon the floor. I'm terrified of what's behind that door. drifting castles made of desert sand. The sky above is turning charcoal gray. I beg the sun to hide its face away. Nothing moves if you are not inside. I'm paralyzed within this freezing night. Barely hanging by a silver thread. Everything we left is still unsaid. I am trembling on the narrow edge, looking down from this lonely ledge. Don't you walk away or I will cease to be. You are the only gravity for me. If you leave my side, I'll surely lose my breath. Life without your light is worse than death. Don't you walk away or I will cease to be. You are the only gravity for me. If you leave my side, I'll surely lose my breath. Life without your light is worse than death. Hold me till the world begins to fail. Without your love, I'm just a ghost you miss.
The silhouette of your departure stains the glass. I trace the corners where your shadow used to pass. My pockets hold the fragments of a broken vow. I have no pride to shield my heavy spirit now. I strip the layers of the life I used to lead to plant the flowers that your weary senses need. The garden withers while you look towards the gate. I beg the heavy hand of time to hesitate.
Take the marrow from my bones and take the breath. I would drift into the quiet arms of death.
Oh, if it met your footsteps,
Lingered by my side,
hey, there is no corner
where my broken soul can hide.
don't cast me out into the hollow of the night. When every spark I own is burning for your light.
Take the marrow from my bones and take the breath.
Ooh,
I would drift into the quiet arms of death.
oh, if it meant your footsteps,
Lingered by my side,
hey, there is no corner
where my broken soul can hide.
don't cast me out into the hollow of the night. When every spark I own is burning for your light. Yeah.
The keys are resting on the table by the door. I cannot offer what I have not given before. My pulse is tethered to the movement of your hand. quicksand.
The weight of silence is the heaviest of chains. I'm pouring salt upon the fever in my veins. Just stay a moment while the sky begins to gray. I'll find a million different ways to make you stay. Take the marrow from my bones and take the breath. Ooh, yeah. I would drift into the quiet arms of death. Oh, if it meant your footsteps lingered by my side, there is no corner where my broken soul can hide. Don't cast me out into the hollow of the night, when every spark I own is burning for your light. Take the motto from my bones and take the breath. I would drift into the quiet arms of death. If it meant your footsteps lingered by my side, lingered by my side, there is no corner where my broken soul can hide. Don't cast me out into the hollow of the night, when every spark goes burning for your life. Take the
The morning tastes like iron and gray mist. The clock on the wall has lost its steady pulse. I walk through the kitchen where shadows persist and find no comfort in the silence of the halls. The heavy curtains refuse to let the sun break in, while the radiator hums a hollow broken tune. Every step feels like wading through deep winter mud. The ghost of your laughter is cooling in my blood. I reach for the handle, but the door is locked tight. Stuck in the middle of a pale and sunless light. This day is a long road with no end in view, just a faded old map that leads back to you. The sky is the color of a bruise that won't fade. In this house of paper where the debts are all paid, I am drifting away on a cold and rising tide, with nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. The mailbox is empty and the birds have flown south. A bitter dry taste is lingering in my mouth. I see my reflection in a cracked window pane, looking like a stranger standing out in the rain. The floorboards are groaning under the weight of the air as I search for a reason that is no longer there. The calendar pages are beginning to fray and tear. There is a scent of spent The silver light falls heavy on the garden wall. Her shadows stretch their fingers through the hall. The perfume of the dying rose is sweet and cold. A story of a summer that is growing old. My pocket's heavy with the stones of yesterday. I watch the golden birds as they flew away. The quiet rain is singing to the thirsty ground. A symphony of silence is the only sound. The rusted gate is leaning on a broken hinge. The velvet sky is bleeding with a purple fringe. I found a letter written in a faded hand across a map of some forgotten lonely land. The cider turns to vinegar inside the glass. I count the heavy footsteps as the seasons pass. The window pane is clouded by a ghostly breath, a celebration of a living kind of death. Oh, it is a grand and jagged kind of grace to see the lines of sorrow on the lover's taste. The bitter salt is blooming like a winter flower inside the hollow temple of this midnight hour. It is a heavy crown of jewels and of thorns, the finest silk that ever a cadaver adorns. The wreckage of the ship is shining in the deep, the treasure that the hungry tides will always keep. Ooh, oh, it is a grand and jagged kind of grace to see the lines of sorrow on a lover's face. The bitter salt is blooming like a winter flower inside the hollow temple of this midnight hour. It is a heavy crown of jewels and adorns, the finest silk that ever a cadaver adorns. The wreckage of the ship is shining in the deep, the treasure that the hungry tides will always keep. The clock is ticking backwards in the dusty hall. The portraits are all turned to the peeling wall. I traded all my laughter for a drop of ink to write a song upon the very sudden brink. The harvest moon is swollen like a weeping eye above the fields where all the fallen soldiers lie. There is a dignity in a jagged tear, a music that the deafened world can never hear. The candle flame is dancing with a dying spark, a tiny yellow diamond in the crushing dark. I will not ask for sunlight or a steady hand while walking through the shifting of the desert sand. For there is beauty in the snapping of a bow, and in the way the river learns to cease its flow. The gala of the grief is open to us all. Stand steady as the mighty pillars start to fall. Always a grand and jagged kind of grace to see the lines of sorrow on a lover's grave. The bitter salt is blooming like a mutual flower inside the hollow temple of this midnight hour. It is a heavy crown of jewels and of thorns, the finest silk that ever a cadaver adorns. The wreckage of the ship is shining in the deep, a treasure that the hungry tides will almost. For it is a grand and jagged kind of grace to see the lines of sorrow on a lover's face. The bitter salt is blooming like a winter flower inside the hollow temple of this midnight hour. He's a heavy crown of jewels and the thorns, the finest silk that ever a cadaver adorns. The wreckage of a ship is shining in the deep, a treasure that the hungry tides will always keep. mahogany. The history of my fathers is the crown I wear so proudly. No shadows in my stride and no trembling in my weary bones. I find my sanctuary in the truth that I have always known. The pigments of the earth are painted on my heavy hands, a legacy that stretches far across the golden burning sands. I do not seek a hollow pity for the color of my face, since I inherited the strength and beauty of a noble race. There is no sorrow in the blackness of the midnight sky. There is no reason for a heavy heart or a weeping eye. I am the mountain and the river and the steady pouring rain. I hold the joy of soul within and let go of the ancient pain. The stories told in silence are the loudest ones to hear. Broad shoulders carry wisdom that has cast away the fear. Not defined by narrow visions or the limits of a sight. I am the vessel of a brilliance and an everlasting light. My voice is like a symphony that rises from the valley low. It gathers every harvest that the ancestors had